What's up, everyone? I really want to share with you something that's probably going to blow your mind. So I've just been like looking at the buildings and everything around me. I mean, just this car behind me, it's a luxury. And look at that like basketball thing behind me. That's a luxury. Like, you don't need to have that. And I've been looking at just the buildings and the prosperity and all these like huge buildings around me. Like, just look at your local church or whatever big building you have, and you have to realize, it makes you realize that the world is a really prosperous place. I mean, if you're struggling making money or if you want to make more, you have to realize that there are literally multi-billion-dollar industries built off a luxury. Like, for example, this car, they did not need to buy such a fancy car with all this stuff on it. They did not need to buy this basketball hoop. That was something for fun. There are billion-dollar industries built off a luxury, something you don't need to have but want to have. For example, the fashion industry, they buy all sorts of fashion and clothing that's not necessary. People have like 10 shoes, people have like fancy frilly outfits. Then there's the sports industry. That whole industry is pretty much built off entertainment. You're basically watching people play a game and be really good at this game. That's entertainment. That's a luxury. There was a point in our lives when the only way to really make money was if it was based off a need, and that need was survival. Can you hunt? Can you kill that deer so we can eat, so we can survive? Or it was based off something that was very significantly tied to that primary need of food. Maybe it was something like equipment to hunt those deer or those buffalo or something else like that. Or it was based off a need that was tied specifically to that hunting. Oh, can we gather berries? Is there a way for us to farm these berries so we can eat this food to survive? But nowadays, there's dozens of multi-billion-dollar industries based off simply a want, a luxury. Whether it's the jewel industry, whether it's the video game industry, another entertainment-based industry, whether it's the car industry. Like, how many people do you know who are buying all sorts of bells and whistles and extra add-ons to their cars, like this hoodless top that I see here in this parking lot? It's all unnecessary, and that's a good thing in a way, because it reminds you that the world is a prosperous place. And if you're struggling to make more money, you have to realize that we're going in the right direction. And how can I get in front of that money? There's money to be made everywhere. I drove through a few buildings today, which kind of sparked this a video to be made. And I just noticed how big they were and how sort of luxurious and unnecessary some parts were. I mean, they had air conditioning, they had all sorts of stuff, especially the churches. They're just like all sorts of like extra frilly add-ons. And this is not a negative thing. It means that there's money to be made. People are spending to build these, incredible establishments. I mean, if you've seen any sculptures or architecture or statues, that's not really necessary. I saw one yesterday and it was just like this huge bronze sculpture because someone donated, and it's just like, wow, that's not necessarily necessary. It's not like we need that to survive or eat food. So think about that. There are people making a ton of money, making YouTube videos, playing video games. There are people making millions as a professional gamer. And I'm not saying that it's easy to do. Most of those things are highly competitive. But maybe think, where are those less competitive areas? Like, everyone right now is trying to make a YouTube video because it's very well known. So it's highly competitive because they know there's money to be made. And because of that, it's become a Hollywood kind of pyramid where the top 1% make millions and everyone else is struggling to get by. But what about those other industries that most people don't look at because they're not as well known or not as glamorous? Maybe it is the fashion industry. Maybe that's not a good example. Maybe it's the plumbing industry. Maybe it's the biking industry. Recently, I heard that there's this company that sells the most obscure niche bike parts for the most rich, established, advanced biking enthusiasts, and they make a killing just serving that specific group, and their whole business is based off a luxury. So, you know, maybe that's not a good thing if we hit another depression or recession in our economy, but even then, I think no matter what, we're still moving in a trend towards greater prosperity. And that's something that's a book called Abundance by Peter Diamandis really illustrates. And he outlines all these different metrics. And quite honestly, every single metric you can think of, from transportation, entertainment, how long we live, how much poverty we have, we're generally trending in the positive direction. So if you look at it over the century level, the eras, we're moving in a great direction. And even though, you know, there's still a lot of suffering going on, media kind of blows it out proportion to make money off of you. But we're generally, there's less war and less fighting, generally speaking. So next time you walk around, just look around at the people who have luxuries, whether it's earrings they have on, second scarf, rather than a bikini, they buy like a $80 bikini with extra frills. Or you look at the buildings and you see this building that definitely cost tens of millions to make, and they have all these like extra decorations on top. Or maybe it's that motorcycle that's unnecessary. We live in a prosperous time. I challenge you to list at least 5 multi-billion-dollar industries in the comments below that are purely based off luxury. It's something that we don't need, but we want. The video game industry, I'll do it first. Video game industry, sports industry, music industry, the film industry, and I guess the 5th one would be the car industry. Certain cars, not all cars, but certain cars like Tesla or Bugatti, Lamborghini, Ferrari. And I'll add the 6th one just to go above and beyond, and I'll call it a day. 6th one will be the shoe industry, or maybe even the fast food industry. Like, you really don't need to spend that much eating out. You can really live well by just eating at home with home cooked food. So that's it, and thanks for watching. I'll see you later.